Good afternoon, cigar lovers. It's Tim here again, and welcome to another review hosted by Cigarsindia.in, India's largest and most trusted online retailer of cigars. And today I shall be reviewing the Graycliff Limited Edition. Now, this is a very interesting brand for a number of reasons. To be honest, I'm not sure how much of that is actually related to cigars, more than just the general history of the company. But I'll give you a breakdown of that in a short while. But just to give you an idea of the box and the particular cigar I'll be reviewing, I'll just put it up to the camera here. So it's a nice presentation box. I don't know whether it's wood, it probably is wood, but they seem to have covered the whole thing with paper and interesting artwork. So that's a box, and this, just opening it, is the particular Vitola, which is the Graycliff Limited Edition. Looking at the dimensions of this cigar, I'd say this was a Pareo, and it's according to the box 5.25 inches by 50 ring gauge, so an interesting size. And looking more closely at the band of the cigar, it actually says G2, and I was a bit initially unsure because I was looking at it and I thought Graycliff Limited Edition. I do know that they do have a large number of cigars within their portfolio. Just going through their website and general cigar retailers, you tend to find about 60 different varieties in their portfolio. So this, identifying it just by the band itself, it gives a lot away. So I believe this is considered the introduction to the Graycliff range because of the price point, it being reasonable, and also it's meant for a broader market in terms of flavor profile and characters. So there you have it. It's a Pareo, and it's a 50 ring gauge by 5.2. The company history also has a lot going for it, but as I said earlier, it's more to do with the company rather than the cigars themselves. If you look at the history of Graycliff, it actually goes all the way back to 1740 to a chap called Captain John Howard Graysmith, who founded it. And so from that period onwards, they've been engaged in various forms of enterprises, hopefully not buccaneering anymore, but certainly other things. And now in Nassau, in the Bahamas, they actually have a remarkable hotel there, boutique hotel, I think, and they also offer a number of different products within their portfolio. So the cigars themselves are just one part of that, and they offer things like coffee, chocolate. They have a restaurant in that hotel which is internationally recognized. And I think in about 2010, for some special anniversary, they were also launching some very exclusive and expensive Swiss watches. The reason why I'm saying this is so that you have an idea as to what context to put the cigar range or the cigar manufacturing in relation to the company. Now, looking at the construction of the cigar, well, it's constructed. The construction is very good. It's on the firm side. I'm just getting some tobacco and a grassy leaves kind of aroma to it. It is certainly on the light side. Getting something akin to a grassy kind of taste on my lips as well, and my tongue. Just cut it. And on the pre-light draw, flavor profile is quite different. I'm getting more leather, I'm getting something, tobacco which has been aged. And rather than a green kind of character, it's more floral. So this should be an interesting smoke. Just light it. The aroma on the smoke is very pleasant. Yes, there is a floral hint to this, and the pepperiness is building up. While it's settling in, I thought I'll just give some more of a history behind the brand, and also some other interesting facts about it. So, as I said, it was founded in about 1740, and they produce a number of different things, from chocolates to wines to hotel and restaurant and various other items. So this is part of that portfolio. Now the interesting thing about this brand is that for that length of history, the cigar production has only been going on from 2009. So it's a very, very, very short period of time that they've actually ramped up from nothing to what some commentators have said is an international premium brand. And they certainly can back it up because of the people, the master blenders, sorry, who are behind the production of these cigars. There is a cigar factory in Nassau, in the Bahamas. I don't think it's part of the hotel group or in the same premises, but they certainly have a presence there. And their aim was to produce a premium limited edition cigar which was acceptable and recognized throughout the world, bearing in mind the short lifespan of the company, or the cigar production lifespan of the company. Typically the tobaccos they use from around the world to make their cigars range from a number of countries. Looking at the list, you could say there are some leaf from Honduras, Nicaragua, Ecuador, the Dominican Republic, Brazil, and perversely Greece as well. Some from Indonesia and some from Costa Rica. If there are any other areas which I haven't covered, please do, and you've done your research, please do get in touch and shed some light in that respect. Now, going on to the reason why my initial cautionary approach should be measured against other factors is because one of the the major players, or the person who was actually involved in producing these cigars, was master blender Alvina Lara, who, for those who are very knowledgeable about cigars, was one of the foremost people behind the original Cohiba range of Cuban cigars. He was Fidel Castro's personal roller, and he was also responsible for rolling some Cuban Davidoffs, which again, for those connoisseurs who have the funds and the experience and the history, would certainly appreciate those particular vitolas of cigars. So it's got a very rich pedigree, albeit short. As I said, I was initially put off by the fact that they were limited editions and they had so many varieties. I did a rough count and there must have been about 50 or 60. So I just thought, hang on, are they just doing this just to churn it out, get someone else to actually manufacture the cigar and put it under their name? But bearing this history in mind, I don't think that is the case. And going by the flavor and character profile of the cigar, I don't think that it could be described as a generic cigar with a band attached to it by any means of imagination. Excuse me. It's a very mild cigar. Yeah, very mild. It has a rich flavor to it. It has some character to it. There is some green and grassy elements, but there is also the toasted tobacco coming through, and you do have that like a coffee stroke espresso kind of sweetness. It's got an interesting aftertaste. The aftertaste is, I'd say it has a medium finish, and it's like straw, but yeah, straw which has been well looked after, which has been cured very nicely. Now I'm getting a bit of licorice coming through. So it's still developing, so I'll let it carry on and just go with some more interesting asides about this particular brand. The person responsible for actually matching this cigar range to the portfolio of products in the Graycliff range is a chap called Enrico Gozali, who wanted to produce a cigar which would be befitting the offerings made by Graycliff as a company, which is why they selected some of the best master blenders, and I don't think they compromised on quality in terms of production or selection of the raw materials. Production itself started in about 1997 with one cigar roller, master roller, and he or she, I'm not sure, but the person apparently was housed in the lobby of the restaurant and was rolling the cigars then and there for patrons who were coming into the restaurant. Subsequently, they've developed and expanded, and now they have about 16 master blenders within the company, and they're responsible for producing these cigars. It certainly offers an interesting selection of flavors and aroma profiles. It is medium bodied, but it shouldn't in any way be discounted. As we just passed it to my friends, they had an interesting comment. We reviewed another cigar earlier, and we found that it was actually the type of cigar that would really put you to sleep, whereas this, I think, would be a cigar that would nicely wake you up in the morning, a nice pleasant wake-up call. The flavors I'm getting from this are dark coffee, a hint of espresso. There is a touch of spice, but it's not overpowering. There's no... I initially thought there was a battle of this peppery quality coming out at the start, but that's been very nicely toned down. And there is a very great earthy quality to this smoke. So I think it's a kudos to the master blenders for putting this variety of cigars together. Now, I've been informed by colleagues that depending on how fast you smoke it, it can burn a lot faster towards the end and heat up a lot faster. Consequently, the flavors and the profile, aroma and taste profile, tend to become harsher. I haven't reached that stage yet, so I'm at a stage now to decide whether to take it nice and easy and have a long and slow puff on this cigar and give it some time to actually breathe, or whether, as I typically smoke, very quickly and very aggressively, to have a puff on it that way. Now, I really don't want to puff on it too aggressively, because I don't want to lose these subtle flavors which are coming out, and I don't want to be another contributor saying, oh look, this is it's getting harsher and it burns faster. So I'll do my best to actually take it a bit more slowly on this cigar and hopefully let the profile develop. The finish is certainly long on this cigar. It's nothing exceptional except that straw element, and we were picking up some tannic quality to it as well. I don't know why you get that with a grassy kind of taste, you get this, or straw kind of taste, you get this tannic quality. For me, that's possibly an indication that these cigars could be aged for a nice time, for a long period, say about 10 years, and they taste pretty good after that period, 10 to 15 years. Yes, it's very earthy, some spice, a bit nutty, and toasted tobacco. Now, another argument for the defense, going towards a defense of this cigar, is the, besides having a fantastic pedigree in master blenders, is the number of awards it's actually won from its inception in 2009. Varieties which didn't have the Graycliff brand name or label, they've been winning awards informally. For example, Francis Cigars, they won an award, Cigar of the Year in 2001. The Rob Report described this particular brand as the best for 2003, and for the Crystal, I think, and the Espresso in 2004, and the Chateau Grand Cru in 2006. So they have been producing these cigars at an earlier date, and which they have actually won awards for. But as a company itself, they're relatively new. I'm just getting a nice toasted tobacco and coffee kind of character coming through. There's not much sweetness, and those floral notes and grassy notes have subsided. Hi guys, welcome back to probably the final segment. It settled in very nicely, and we were just trying to actually gauge, you know, other characteristics which we couldn't pinpoint at an earlier stage. But having discussed this, I did comment that the aroma was fantastic, and even the taste profile. What this is reminiscent, and what we've come to some kind of agreement, is that it's very reminiscent of a Cuban cigar, in terms of the aroma, in terms of the taste as well. The taste is more Cuban than it is non-Cuban, whether it's from Nicaragua, Honduras, the Dominican Republic. They have certain profiles which you can say, okay, I can identify this as a non-Cuban. But this one, if I was walking down the street and someone was puffing away on this, I would have possibly mistaken this for something like a Rafael Gonzalez. I'd say it's in with that Rafael Gonzalez kind of strength, which is considered a mild Cuban cigar, but this, I'd say, is actually stronger than that. So it has a strong hint of Cuba in it, and I suppose that's only reflected in the abilities of the master blender and where they actually source the leaf from. Price point of the cigar, it ranges between 650 to 750 rupees, and it's a very good price for that. This is a cigar which, you know, you'd be happy to wake up with, and as one of my friends said, this is a cigar you may want to smoke to wake you up after a heavy night of boozing and a hangover, and you need to wake up and be ready for the world. This certainly would accommodate that. It would also be good during the daytime, up to the evening, I think. So it's been quite an interesting revelation, because, as I said, I had my own prejudged ideas about this particular range of cigars from Graycliff. They were relatively new to me, and you know, doing my research with them, on them, sorry, that only confirmed some of my prejudices. But this has been a pleasant surprise, and I have to take back some of the comments that I made at the very start, because this is a very nice smoke. It is, if you want something which is Cuban or Cubanesque, but not from Cuba, then this is a cigar certainly to go for. The aroma is fantastic on the smoke. The spice is toned down. There's no peppery spice. It's spice like Cuban kind of spice. Again, it's very hard for me to describe that or pin that down. Perhaps with more experience and more discussions with my friends and colleagues, we'll be able to get an idea about that. But at the moment, it's that X factor, you could say. And this certainly has. The draw is very good, and we have been puffing away on this very slowly. So that has given it an opportunity to actually, I think, demonstrate what it has to offer more than some reviewers saying that it became harsher and it burned very hot towards the end. So it really depends on how you want to treat the cigar. If you give it a bit of respect and a bit of time and smoke it gently, it will offer these subtle flavors, and certainly you may get that hint of Cuba coming through. Perhaps if you do smoke it a lot faster, the profile will change, and it certainly will heat up a lot faster. I am getting some heat now, but I'm coming close to the end of the smoke. So again, very good construction. There is some sweet aroma. Whether it was sandalwood or a sort of talcum powder sandalwood or some kind of sweet smell, that is there. And it certainly has that leathery quality again, which goes back to the Cuban kind of cigars. So to sum up, a cigar worth trying, definitely trying. 1 for the price point, 2 for the quality and construction, 3 for the complexity, and 4 for the sheer pleasure of it, because it does wake you up, and it makes you wake up with a smile to the world. And I think that's what you really want at the end of the day. So I finished the review off on this, and just would like to add, if you like this review, please give us a like or a thumbs up on YouTube, and please do subscribe to our channel. The boys are also on Facebook and Twitter, and if you have any constructive comments and any other suggestions, please do get in touch with the boys, or get in touch via YouTube or Facebook and Twitter. So thank you for your time, and hope to see you again soon. Hi guys, I told you in the previous segment that would be the last, but we just had a few afterthoughts on this, because this is actually offering some interesting additional benefits and bonuses as we're finishing the cigar, which perhaps we should have kept it rolling to add those comments. Well, for continuity's sake, but well, that didn't happen, but we thought we should actually describe these elements as well, because I think it's quite important. In terms of the aroma, I think I was mentioning that I'm getting something sweet, a sweet kind of spice, but it was difficult to get our pinpointed. After brainstorming, we just came to the conclusion the closest approximation is that aroma is like sugarcane. When you break that sugarcane and just smell that's what it actually smells like. So that's one additional aroma profile. And also, having left the cigar for a short while and just let it settle on my tongue, I have picked up an element of licorice sweetness in the smoke. So it has that character coming through it as well, which is nice. All in all, a nice cigar.